So within 11, you're like, something happened, and you turn around and you see these Flameskulls coming down, and their flames are kind of like flicking like they're in a strong wind, and you're like, I think I did that. That is an awesome turn. And Tide, you are next. These Flameskulls that are descending are all looking pretty not great for wear, so they're doing pretty rough, which is good. So
Cool. Whichever one is like, are there, how many of them are there?
there's three. They're still within like 5 feet of each other as they're coming down towards you guys. And Flameskull number 1 is the one that took that arrow from Veracus, so that one's the most damage. Flameskulls 2 and 3 are equally damaged from the radiant light, so they're at about 75% health. Whereas now the one that Veracus hit is closer to like 60% health.
Cool. So I'll as that the one that Veracus hit, I'll kind of like see that it got hit with this light, and then I'm gonna point at it, and then just like a speckle of frost energy is going to shoot towards it.
Oh, hey Rex, can you mute for a second? I was having trouble hearing Victor. Sorry. Wind is the worst for audio, so it's all good. But I just want to make sure. So you're gonna put your hand out and fire some frost damage at it?
Yeah. So
Nice.
I'm gonna have my owl come swoop down and kind of like whoosh around it, and then fly out of there to distract it.
Whoosh in the Yume, go for it. I like it. Its AC is 13, so.
You're picking up on what I'm putting down.
Oh yeah.
18.
And 18 hits.
And then that is
Roll me some cold damage.
8 of cold damage, and then its speed is reduced by 10 until the start of my next turn.
Nice. And you said 8 cold damage?
No, so I had to D8.
Oh, I see.
So it's 3 cold damage.
Cool. So you can tell from the way you hit it that it looks like it is vulnerable to cold damage. It takes double that amount, so it takes 6 damage, and it's slowed down by you said 10 feet?
Like 10 feet. So just like this ray of frost like engulfs it, and like a bit of frost maybe like envelops like the solid part of its body. Its
Yes.
skull.
Well, you can tell like these are kind of like they're clamping their little jaws angrily, and this one kind of freezes up and is like, you know. So yeah, it is definitely slowed and damaged. So nice job.
I will move 30 feet in the opposite direction of these things.
Copy that. Alrighty, Kastan, you are up next.
It's been longer than 10 minutes since we started battling the gargoyle statues, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I'd say you guys have been in here about 20, 30 minutes total.
Okay. Yeah, I no longer have my star form then. So I'm going to use an action to ice knife the second skull.
Nice.
Seeing how effective Tide was with his ice, I kind of just draw on that energy he just used, kind of taking a note from him, and just launch it at number 2.
Nice. Roll an attack for me, please.
If you'll give me just a second, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. 21?
Yes.
Ooh, a 21 absolutely hits. Roll that cold damage.
That's going to be 2 cold damage, and then the other Flameskulls, I'm assuming because they're still within 5 feet, have to make a DC 14 dexterity save.
Perfect. Okay, so number 2 takes those 4 cold damage, and then the other 2 make the dex saves, correct?
They all make the dex save.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. So, and what's the DC on that?
14.
Cool. Number 1 fails. Number 2 fails. Number 3 succeeds.
Okay, so the one that succeeds takes nothing. The one that I hit took the 2 piercing damage, and then the ones that failed the save take 6 cold damage.
Nice. The one that Tide hit on his last turn, Flameskull number 1, is destroyed.
Nice.
And the one that you hit initially is down to less than half health after that hit.
Okay.
Also, as the first Flameskull is destroyed from the ice strike, up on the sun, you all realize that on the image of the sun, a glowing rune for the number 9 shows up.
Got it.
Yes, and I'm going to put that in here. Okay, sun image glowing number 9 as you destroy that one. So, that is awesome. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn, Kastan?
No, I'm good. I'm gonna stay where I'm at.
Okay.
Anything else? That's all for that.
Nice. But yeah, as that one flame skull explodes in a bunch of icy little shards, that number shows up, and you're like, okay, this is good. So,
Yeah.
Verkus, you are up next, my friend.
All right. So to catch up, so the one that I've been wearing on is down.
Correct.
And so the other two are still even, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna take another shot.
Go for it.
And
this is on the one that's more wounded, right? Number 2.
Yes, yeah, whichever one looks a little more worse for wear.
Definitely number 2.
Okay, so 19 damage.
19 damage? What type of
not
damage?
19 damage. 19 to hit. Sorry.
I was like, my goodness. Yeah, 19 does hit though, absolutely.
For 10 points of piercing damage.
Okay, great. So you hit it, and it takes a pretty solid hit. A chunk of its little like skull bone gets like knocked off and like shatters. So you can see inside its skull, it's empty. There's no brain, but there's like a little bit of like an orb of fire inside, like it's powering it.
Okay.
But it kind of is like moving a little bit erratically now. It's almost nearly destroyed. So that was a solid hit.
Let's see. I think other than that, I really can't do anything. So I'm gonna, yeah, that's all I'm gonna do.
Okay, well that's a really solid hit, and it goes next to Eremos. There are 2 remaining. Flameskull number 2 is barely hanging on. Flameskull number 3 is at about 70% health.
They're both still hovering like up near the ceiling, right? Like totally out of melee range.
Actually, in this round, they're going to come down to where they're close enough for melee. So right now, they're about 15 feet in the air.
Sure. So I'm trying to cover my mic so it's not super windy.
Yeah, you're good, man.
I am going to jump up on the dais and like bang my Morningstar against my shield and like make a lot of noise and try to like draw them towards me. And then I'm going to hold an attack action for if one comes within melee.
Perfect. No need to roll for that. You absolutely taunt both Flameskulls, and they turn towards you, their little glowing golden eyes, and they start hovering towards you. So that is effective. And if they get within range, I'll let you do an attack. I love it. So Flameskull number 2 is going to make a beeline for you, and you are able to make that attack because Flameskull number 2 is next.
Let me unmute this and then make this attack. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to add a D4.
Perfect. Okay.
Second time. There we go.
Oh, oh man, you annihilate this thing. Phew. Okay, so you swing up your Morningstar and catch this thing, and your spikes of your Morningstar hit into it, and you swing behind, and it slams against the wall and just shatters completely. That is awesome. And as you do that, everyone sees up on the ceiling, and I'm going to go into the general chat. Another number glows.
Everyone with a decent passive perception, right?
Up on the symbol now, below the number 9 is the number 17 next to each other. And so that is Flameskull 2's turn, and it gets annihilated and destroyed. Excellent attack, Eremos. And Tide, you are up next. There's one Flameskull remaining, and it looks like it's about to make a beeline towards Eremos.
Cool. Yeah, I will Ray of Frost it.
Nice.
As it comes after Eremos. And then I'll do the same thing with my owl to have like kind of interrupt its path, distract it a little bit.
I dig it.
Ooh, I got a nat 20.
Yes! Roll that crit damage, which if it's cold damage will be doubled, so awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Roll high. 10 cold damage.
Nice.
Quadruple.
So 20. So you hit it for 20. This thing turns into like a little like snowball for a second and kind of catches itself. Like it spins out of control for a minute. But yeah, it's down below 25% health for sure. Excellent hit.
Speed is reduced by 10, so it might not be able to make it all the way to Eremos in its one turn now.
Correct. It will not be able to actually. So that is awesome. Tide, is there anything else you'd like to do for your turn after you pretty much crippled this thing, which is awesome?
No, I think I'll just I think we're good. I don't have any bonus to contribute.
Well, the flame skull goes next. It kind of stabilizes itself, and as it dodges your owl, it makes its way to about 15 feet away from Eremos, and that's all it can do on its turn. Kastan, you are up next. You see this very damaged and partially frozen flame skull over by Eremos. What would you like to do?
It's at like ground, well, not ground level, but like eye level with Eremos.
It's about 10 feet off the ground now, so it's within melee reach, you know.
Great. I'm gonna thorn with it. 24 to hit.
That absolutely hits.
4 piercing damage.
Nice. 4 piercing hits it and takes away about half of its remaining health. So it is still up, but you yank it back like 5 feet as well, so it's a little bit further from Eremos. And it takes that damage, and you actually yank off like half of its lower jaw part. So yeah, there's just a little bit hanging off there, but it's pretty close to being destroyed. So.
And then I believe Veracus took damage earlier, correct?
Way earlier. It's
from the shadow demon, yeah.
Yeah.
Not even. I took it from the gargoyle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was like 10 slashing, wasn't it?
It was just 5.
Oh, okay. No, Tide's the one who took that from the shadow demon.
Yeah.
Took that big hit, yeah.
Yeah, so then Kastan's going to cast Healing Word at a 2nd level on
Tide. Sweet.
His name is, you know that guy?
Well, how much does that heal Tide by?
I need to roll 2d4.
Oof.
Nice.
That's gonna be 9 healing damage.
Just a sigh of relief as I get to 1 point below my max. I was like, oh my god, I needed that.
Nice.
Almost like a comforting fey, like just like I don't know, like a whisper maybe that like
So I kind of like thorn whip the thing, crack its jaw, and then I look over at Tide and I'm like, "Are you okay?"
better.
I love it. Well, as Tide fills up with healing energy, it goes up to Veracus now. Veracus, you are about 30 feet from this flame skull near Eremos, which is badly damaged.
Oh, I'm gonna run up.
Do it.
I cast aside my bow or like restring it up as I'm running up with my
just throw it
blades.
over your shoulder and
yeah.
I dig it.
Make first, that attack. First is a 20 to hit.
That absolutely hits.
For 9 points of slashing damage.
Yeah, you cut this thing in half and it falls to the ground destroyed. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I will put in the channel here, a final number glows up on the sun, a 3. Nice. So, as you guys move out of combat, you defeat the final flame skull. You now have 4 numbers up on this glowing sun, and there's no enemies around you, and daylight has been cast, which is awesome. And so you guys, let me look here real quick. Yep, that's so there's no enemies currently around you. What would you guys like to do next, besides potentially a short rest?
I go back to the tumbler.
Okay.
And I think that if this, because I think the diamond is going to be skull on, like weed is going to have to turn into skull.
Have to turn into sun.
Oh, for the daylight, and then we fought. Oh, because we fought skulls. I was like, okay, that makes more sense.
And then whatever numbers that we just got, it was like 9, 1, 7.
9173.
And real quick too, I forgot to mention when you because it was during combat, I forgot this. When Eremos finished casting Daylight on the dais is still available to be used as a spell focus now, but glowing in the very center of it is that same rune that is underneath the upper right thing on the grid. And there's a little like ring of fire around it. So you now know that the diamond symbol corresponds to the skull, and that the rune that almost looks like a letter B but more runic corresponds to fire.
So I had put fire with the rune and then 4215. So we're probably set on that one.
That seems correct, yes.
Cool.
So then you'll want to look at the left and center columns.
Okay. So we want the skull with the diamond.
Cool.
And probably the sun with the other 2 dots.
Cool. And what numbers are you putting below those?
That's as much thinking as Verkus can do.
We have the numbers from the ceiling that we haven't used.
Yeah, I think that the center column becomes 9173, right?
I'll do that. I'll put 9173.
In the center column?
Yes.
Below the skull.
Is that what you wanted to change the wheat to skull and the one that we currently have skull to sun? Or are we keeping
the diamond corresponds with skull, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the center of the dais seems to indicate when it's glowing.
Okay.
Well, and Eremos, when you found that big metal skull that you've placed in the center of the room behind
with
it with a diamond.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So we want the 2 dots to be the sun, diamond to be skull, and then I'll do the numbers were 9173. Is that what it was?
that runic B thing?
Yeah, 9173.
Yeah, that'll be under the diamond and the skull. And then the sun and the 2 dots. Wait, no, the sun and the 2 dots should be the 9173. Because that's where we got all the sunlight, right?
Well, that was the ceiling. Those numbers were from the ceiling. The moon changed to a sun.
Right. So we want that to be 9173. And then what are the numbers that are associated with skull?
The diamond and the skull. I don't know. Are they on the edges of the dais? I haven't seen them.
All numbers were 1280.
Yep, because Castan found those near the inscriptions of animals near an
so
etching of a skull. So the 1280 does seem to correspond to skull symbol.
Okay, so I'll do
the left column.
The left column needs to be shifted to the middle column, and then the left column needs to be made into the...
As you guys place these in place, so you have the sun with 9173 under it. You have the skull in the center with 1280 under it, and then on the far right you have fire with 4215 under it. As you get these all lined up, the tumblers all begin to glow a bright red light, and everyone, all the stuff in the room that was glowing besides this tumblers, everything else stops glowing, and the an outline around this big grid that you've been working on starts to glow in a bright blue light, and it gets really, really bright, and then it kind of all fades away and makes an opening further into the mount. You guys solved the D&D escape room. Well done. Yes.
So I'm gonna go up to the dais, and if everyone's cool with this, spend 5 minutes casting Reduce on the dais, with the goal of bringing it with us.
You can absolutely do that. I love it. I love it.
Reduce prepared because I really like the idea of just having it for like fey fuckery. A spell slot, just be like shrink.
But you wouldn't have to use rituals to cast it with the types.
I know, but still.
Okay, so so you're casting it with the dais on the dais, correct?
Ideally, yes.
Okay. I love that. So, as you begin doing that, that is where we are going to end the session, though, because I have to get ready for work. But that is awesome. And as you begin ritual casting that, everyone gains 1800 XP.
Oh my gosh.
For all of the enemies you defeated, as well as solving the puzzle. So, we're going to do plus 1800, which will give us a total of, let me do some math here.
4150.
4150.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit below halfway to 5.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh
So
my gosh.
next time you take a long rest, we will go up to level 4.
Cool. And is it
Okay.
safe to say that we're going to short rest before continuing?
Yeah, actually, I would say that as Kastan is ritual casting this, you guys could simultaneously take a short rest.
Okay.
So let's do the short rest now, with everyone recharging whatever abilities, regaining any hit dice, anything like that, and then we will leave on. We'll start the next session as Kastan completes casting reduce on the dice.
Yeah. I'm going to use a hit dice, and I only need 1 more hit point, so I'm just going to get that back.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm at full health. I'm at full health again as well.
Same.
Excellent.
My idea for like what this looks like is Kastan just like drawing on it, and when it's done, he just takes it by the sides and forces it to be smaller.
I love it. Just
I'm
That's
ready.
amazing.
And we ended right as Kastan was ritual casting reduce and large on the mysterious stone dais that was a spell casting focus and had some other interesting properties as you figured out everything in that room. So right before we go to the end of you ritual casting that, because everyone was able to take a short rest, we did that at the end of last session. So some HP has been restored. Let's go around and everyone state what their health is at now that everyone's had that short rest.
I'm at 23. I'm good.
Nice.
I'm
Rex,
full at 34.
34. Okay, cool.
34.
Jesus. 28 out of 28.
Nice.
Okay, I guess I have the least 22 out of 22.
I'm glad that everyone's at full health. And yeah, I think as we level up due to the class choices in this party, that the HP disparities will continue to grow as we go along. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But
Aramis, I'm
Okay,
going
but
to
I'm-
need you to fight this group of bad guys in front of everybody, please.
I'm fairly confident, however, that I have a D8, Tide has a D6. Wait,
No,
Right?
is it a
Yeah,
And a
sorcerer's gonna
sorcerer?
be 6. Yeah.
and then
But
Veracruz, your ranger should also have a D8, and then Eremos is a paladin, you have a D10, right?
Ranger gets D10, don't it?
I got a D10.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So the Constitution discrepancy is the main reason. Like
Ah.
Ramos has 18 Constitution.
And I'm at 15.
that makes sense.
17
My con is
Constitution.
16.
Your constitution's a 17.
Mine, yeah.
That's good.
rolled low on the hit die.
Well,
What can I say? Yeah, I can
crosses
roll
out
crap on
poison
the hit dice.
damage on my thing. No, I'm just kidding. Never mind. Figure out something else.
Protect Kastan.
Kastan, I mean, narratively, it makes sense. He
Yeah,
grew
it
up
does.
in his mother's and his grandmother's house. He has done zero adventuring. He has been pampered and taken care of.
It fits the character. I like that.
Yeah.
Plus, you can always wild shape for more health.
Yeah.
Right,
In a
that's
pinch.
exactly it.
Yeah.
I just have to make sure not to use them all for my starry forms.
Which is
Right.
really nice.
I'm more of a sparkly boy, but those don't get hit points back.
All right.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
I'm just refreshing the stuff I wrote down for that stone dais, because just as one other refresher is that due to an Arcana check one of you made early on while you guys were figuring out everything going on in that room, you figured out that it could be used as a spell focus, either for ritual or regular spell casting, and that it did tend to amplify the effects of the spells that you cast through it. And so there might be some other properties that haven't yet been discovered. So that's kind of where we left that off. So I need to pull up one thing. You're using the enlarge reduce spell, correct?
Yeah, do you want me to send that along?
No, I'm actually just going to pull it up right now because I have D&D pulled up. So I'm just D&D Beyond, enlarge reduce. I
Yeah,
just need to
my
check
plan is
one.
literally to just walk up, clap my hands on either side of this thing. Like, we should take this with us, right?
Yep. And so as you're doing that, I feel bad now. I was going to ask you to roll a D4, and I know that's the one you don't have.
No, he found it. He found
Oh,
it.
you
We're
did?
good.
Oh, good. Okay. I do need
The
you
only
to
thing
roll
I'm
it.
missing now is my D8.
Okay. So we're going to start the session where you finish casting reduce on the stone dais, and we're going down to, like you said, tablet size, right? Like it's going to be like
Yeah,
or-
like the size of, a popularly well-known common household item
perfect.
tablet.
And so one thing I got to check here is, hang on. Okay, so this spell doesn't really have like any kind of change to effects if you cast it at a higher level than second level.
Right.
And so the spell works, and it does this giant stone tablet, which is like the size of a desk, suddenly shrinks down to tablet size right in your hands. It's like kind of floating there, and you can grab onto it. But as you cast it, I do need you to roll a d4.
2.
2. Okay, perfect. So, as you cast it, shrink it down, it kind of glows like this weird silvery light for a second, and the light kind of coalesces over the surface of the dais, and then it shoots up and over you, and as it's kind of going down towards the center of the room, it starts to expand and kind of harden and take on a humanoid form. And I do need everyone to roll initiative. I did not. Yes, so we are going to have to start with a quick little combat. Hopefully this will go quickly.
Nat 20.
Nice.
That one.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You are
Cousin,
so
no.
surprised.
Well, we're getting the crits out of the way early on. That's good.
I'd rather waste a nat 1 on initiative than anything else.
That's true.
fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not waste.
Yeah.
Happily use.
Don't judge me, dice. Happily use. So really
You
quick, I'm
did.
just going to recreate that room you guys are in, where that stone dais was.
It's just one individual that is appearing.
Yes, one humanoid figure.
Is it friendly?
That is TBD. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry, I have 2 notepads now, and it's throwing me off. I got to use the graph paper. So let me write down initiatives first. So we got a nat 20 for Verkus, right?
25 total.
Perfect. Okay, sweet. And the nat 1 was for Tide, right?
For Kastan.
Oh, okay. And so nat 1 comes out to, what's your initiative modifier?
It's a 4 total.
Okay, perfect. And what was Aramos at?
5 total.
Okay. And Tide, what were you at, sir?
22.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are at
We're
opposite
out.
ends of the spectrum. While I'm mapping out the room really quick, Verkus, can you roll me a d20 for the other humanoid figure there?
Decide what we're fighting.
I rolled a 19.
All right. Perfect. So a 19, that's going to make its initiative.
Oh.
Sorry, y'all.
So, don't
I should have
metagame.
used a
I think it
different
might
die.
it
I
might
should
be
have used a
attacking.
different dice.
We don't necessarily know that it's hostile yet.
Yeah.
Kastan doesn't even realize it's happening.
Yeah. Everything else that is like pooped out of this tablet has tried to kill us. So
Well, this room, nothing's come out of this tablet yet.
no, I think the shade
Yeah, it did.
thing did.
A shade, a Dementor-like thing, and then
Did it come
yeah.
from the tablet? I
Those
thought it just came
Flameskulls.
out from the room
It
somewhere.
came from the tablet.
Yeah,
Oh,
that came from
perfect.
the-
Let's kill this thing then.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's gonna die.
There have been a lot of other things popping up from different places in the room, but
Yeah.
the Dementor guy came from the tablet.
And there was a beneficial effect when I cast some divine magic. The daylight came from the dais
Yeah.
as well.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah.
Quick thing, where would you all be standing in the room? So it was a circular room, just at the, I guess, designated north end is where that big grid was that you all solved, and it turned into an opening that you haven't gone through yet.
Yeah.
And then opposite that in the room was the entrance, like the hallway that you came through from the Mound of Mulcarian. So I have the humanoid in the center. I have Kastan standing where the stone dais was leaned up against the wall. Where is everybody else?
Where was the stone dais and compared to the north exit or that new tunnel?
Back and left, I think.
So because it's a round thing, I like to think of it like a clock. It was at like the
Yeah.
9 o'clock position.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll send you guys a picture of with my new graph paper. I'm so
So
excited.
we were short
Ooh.
resting, so I think we'd be short resting somewhere in between 9 and 12, I would assume.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
would,
Yeah.
I would have been at the actual exit, going deeper into the mound, just because that is where I'd be paranoid that something might charge in, and I'm kind
Totally.
of the eyes of the party.
Totally.
Maybe
Yeah,
the
I
eyes of the
imagine
party.
that like y'all were heading toward the exit while I was like, but wait,
But wait, there's more.
let me get the tablet.
Finishing
Yeah.
our short rest and walking towards the exit.
Right.
Verka's
like
probably
split.
nice and ahead of us,
Yeah.
eager to get through.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
gonna
go,
kind
let's
of
go, let's
put
go, let's go.
here. I'm gonna send you guys an updated screenshot. I put Verkus near that entrance, and then Tide and Eremos kind of close as well. So this way it's all mapped out. Let me know if you guys want me to move you at all on there. Oh, my phone's going super slow, but it's coming. So give it a second. There it is.
Oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
that's perfect.
That'll work for me, yeah.
Thank
great.
you,
That works for
Rex.
me.
It does look nice. I like it. It's very fancy. I went to Office Depot. I was running errands yesterday, and I was like, "That's kind of on my way to work.
Ooh.
Time to get some graph paper."
I was gonna say, let me know, because I'll talk later about it.
Yes.
But yeah, I can help you out with something like that too.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we got the graph paper, and that's our rough map. And because it's just one enemy, I think this will be a quick combat. But so as we roll the initiative, Verkus, you actually get to move first. And ooh, I see what you mean, Charles. I will take you up on that very much. That is awesome. So I'm actually going to tear this regular non-graph paper piece out because it's less special. That just has the initiative on it. So, with Verkus going first, you're standing near the entrance, and you don't hear anything as the tablet shrinks, but you do just kind of suddenly like sense movement towards the center of the room.
Okay.
Kind of as that light kind of goes up and then coalesces into a humanoid figure, it casts a very small shadow, and you're like, hang on, there's something there. So as you spin around to look at this, at this point it has turned into a tall humanoid figure. It is about 7.5 feet tall, very lanky, covered in like gauze and matted wraps from head to toe, with kind of long fingers, and you're far enough away that you don't smell it, but you just get this vibe that like it might be stinky, and it looks just gross and intimidating. What do you do?
Well, it's definitely out of my speed. I wouldn't be able to reach it. It looks like it's more than 30 feet. If we're going by each square is 5 feet.
Actually, I was gonna go by, or yeah, each square is 5 feet, correct. So actually
Okay,
it would
so
be 10,
I'm about
20, 30, 40, 45 feet from it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna see that and just nope. Longbow.
Nice. Yep, you can draw it as like kind of a free action and take a shot. Go for it.
Okay. Act. Not better. 12.
12 hits, actually.
Oh, okay.
It does not have a high AC, and it's not actively trying to dodge you.
Right.
So yeah, this thing's just standing in the middle of the room, and you just knock an arrow and let loose, and it hits for sure.
All right. In that case, I'm also gonna have Tavusa charge up my bow attack. So it's gonna do that extra D6 fire damage.
Heat up that arrowhead. I like it.
So that's gonna be 5 points of piercing damage and 4 points of extra fire damage.
Okay.
Did I say 5 or 9 for the piercing?
5.
You said 5.
I meant 9. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's cool.
Because I add 5 to the damage that I roll. So I rolled a 4 plus 5 is 9. So 14 total.
Okay. So and is your bow a magical attacker now?
13. I'm sorry, I can't math today. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
13 total damage. Okay.
So 13 total damage, 9 of it piercing, 4 of it fire.
Yes.
And I get to do some weird math on my end due to resistances and vulnerabilities. But is your piercing damage magical from your bow?
No.
Okay. So, now let me hang on.
Because the piercing damage gets half, but not the fire, right?
The fire
Yeah.
gets doubled.
Yeah.
So it basically works out to
Tavusa!
almost the same. So it's going to be, instead of 13, you deal 12 damage, and the damage type's just kind of reverse. So,
And I love Tavusa.
yes. So that comes out to 12. So yeah, okay. So you hit it, and your arrow like doesn't go nearly as deep as you expect it to go in, but the fire like blossoms on this
I like that word.
gauze covered body a lot more than you expected. So you're like, well, that wasn't what I expected, but it looks like I heard it pretty good. So is there
Fair.
anything else you'd like to do for your turn after firing that very effective? And it looks like you knocked it down by about 10 to 15% HP with that
Okay.
one hit. So,
Yeah, I think.
or sorry, you reduced its total HP by 10 to 15%.
Okay,
Not knocked
okay.
it down to 10 or 15%. That'd be way too easy. So,
Yes.
yeah, you're like, ooh.
I don't have anything else I can really do.
Okay. Well, that was a very effective attack. Tide, you are up. You hear a little as an arrow flies past your head, and as you turn to look, you see this creepy figure standing in the middle of the room with some fire on its shoulder and chest where the arrow hits. This creepy looking thing. Actually,
Fire good, fire good, fire good.
as a free action, Tide, with your scholastic background, I would like you to roll a history or religion check, please, whichever is higher. Just as a free action before your turn begins in earnest.
2. You said history or religion?
Correct.
They're both 2, so.
Okay. Then I would lean more historical for
Okay.
to fit the narrative.
I got a nat 1.
Yeah, you have no idea what this thing is.
I
Right?
probably don't see it very. I'm like, arrow?
Yeah, you're like, arrow, enemy, fight. Okay, cool. Like, let's
Can I try to figure it out again at the beginning of my next turn?
Yeah, you can try again for sure.
If we get there.
Yeah. But yeah, you can be like the giant frog now and be like, fight, stop now, please, maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just like, the fuck is that? Okay, I don't have any fire cantrips, unfortunately.
Of all things.
I am
I mean, I'm sure you have some fire cantrips.
Yeah.
None of them that do fire damage. I'm a water genasi.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
I'm at least 60 feet from it though, right?
You are, let me see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You were 35 feet from it.
Okay.
You were a little closer than Veracruz. Veracruz was right towards the entrance further into the mound. So
cool. So I will have my owl go over and distract it so that I can attack it with advantage.
Perfect.
I'm going to Ray of Frost it so that I can reduce its speed in case it's trying to come after us.
Ooh, smart. That's awesome. Is that a con save on its end or a spell attack?
I attack.
Nice. Okay.
I got an 18 on the die.
That hits.
And D8. That's 2 frost damage, but its speed is reduced by 10 until the start of my next turn.
Nice. Okay. So minus 10 feet, and it was 2 frost damage, correct?
Yes.
Sweet. Okay, so you hit it, and you see ice kind of spread around its torso and down to like its upper legs. So it looks like it's going to have a struggle walking forward. After you cast that, with your owl distracting it around it, anyone who attacks it while your owl's still there will get advantage, which is nice.
It does fly out in it does like a fly. Its ability is fly by. So that it doesn't take attacks of opportunity on its way out. Perfect. So it does just kind of swoop in and out.
Perfect. That sounds good. Well, is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Is there somewhere I can take cover behind?
There's not in this room, no.
Cool. I will
the only thing that would have provided cover is on the opposite side of the room, those statues that came to life, but those have moved and been destroyed. So there is no cover in this room. And the stone dais has been shrunk as well, so.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I think I'll just sit tight right back where I'm at then.
Okay. Well, before we move on to Eramos's turn, it is this figure's turn. it is going to move with its reduced speed. You notice it starts moving very slowly and menacingly, but it does start moving towards Victor and Tide, or Veracus and Tide, because of the damage it's been dealt. So
Victor, how did you get there?
I know, right? Victor, watch out! You're not supposed to be here.
You're not built for these things.
Let me send everyone an updated map real quick, even though it's pretty minimal movement, just so we have it for reference. You notice, though, it only moves 10 feet. It's moving very slow and creepily.
Sweet.
It is going to... Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's actually going to look at Veracus, who has dealt it the most damage, and it is going to make a dreadful glare. So I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw, please, to avoid being frightened.
Just imagine this thing looking at you like, girl, really?
11.
The spell save DC was 11, so you just barely passed.
I was like, oh no.
No, you did. You did it. So
I did it.
So if you succeed, you are immune to that action for the next 24 hours, which is awesome.
Random mechanical question. Is that specifically from this creature, or if we encounter another creature that has menacing glare, is he also immune to it?
He's immune to it from this creature and any other creatures of this same type. Yes.
Useful.
In case they come up again later in this place.
No, that's fair.
Which is entirely possible. So, but yes,
I've
that's its
taken
turn.
glares from that from other patrons many a time. Sorry. It's all right.
This isn't my first dreadful glare.
What's the name of your bar assistant?
Sarai. Was it Sarai? Wasn't that the
Sarai? Yeah,
was the one at the Golden Cup.
Yeah, we went to the Golden Cup for that initial mission. And
that was the one I
poor
worked
Veracus
with.
had to. Yeah, you used to work there, and there was the angry dwarf bouncer who was like, "Don't cause trouble." But yes,
I'm causing trouble.
This mysterious figure walks forward 10 feet, tries to intimidate Veracus and fails, and that is its turn. That's all it can do. So
fantastic.
Eremos, you are up next. You are now with its movement. You are now 20 feet from this figure. What would you like to do?
Where is Kastan? Wasn't he right up on the dais when he summoned it?
No, if you like, so he's to like from the humanoid's point of view, which is facing the three of you. On its left is Kastan by about 30 feet. So,
but I'm looking fully the opposite direction.
Right, and like you kind of like on your turn, Kastan,
I'm facing the wall.
Yeah, on your turn though, you'll be able to look for free because that light kind of arced up and over. So I imagine that you would have followed it to see where it went. But just being last in the initiative order and already doing something that kind of instigated the combat, you're like not really looking at it right now. But it also you haven't heard it yet, so it's not responding to you at all. It seems like so.
So as a player, I know what would be mechanically best, but I'm just going to make a straight intelligence check for Eremos.
Okay.
To see if he would decide what I'm thinking or not.
Okay. A 17 is pretty solid, yeah.
Eremos will pull a torch from his adventuring pack and just rush into melee with the gauzed figure.
Nice. That totally fits because you've seen the effect this arrow had, and at this point you've seen Veracus's fire damage from Tavusa, and you're like, hey, it's effective, but this looks extra effective against this thing, so that totally fits. So are you running up to do a melee attack with that torch?
Yeah. So I'm not going to add my proficiency. I'll just add my strength bonus.
I'd say, though, that like you're proficient in swinging a sword, hitting something with a torch, I think you should add that in.
All right.
Yeah. And that's gonna hit.
Doesn't a torch do like a D4, like a bludgeoning or something like that?
I have no idea.
That I think, yeah, because it's gonna basically have the same effects as like a small club, but then with the added fire damage.
Yeah,
so
like
I'd
a club.
Say, well, you definitely hit it, Eremos, and so I would do 1d6 fire, 1d4 bludgeoning, and we'll see how that checks out. So
I'm gonna add my strength modifier too.
Yeah, perfect.
So that would be 9 total damage, 2 of which is fire. And
you mean 5 of which is fire? And 4 is bludgeoning.
Yeah. 5 is fire, and then 4 is bludgeoning.
Cool. So that works out to 12 damage because the bludgeoning is non-magical, so it's halved, and then the fire is doubled. So that turns out to another round of 12 damage, which is awesome. So, you smack this thing with the torch, and it kind of like it raises a hand very slowly and not nearly enough to dodge. So you just hit it basically on the chest where it's already been burned, and that fire just expands even more. So, it's looking like it's at about 40% total HP now at this point after 3 hits. So, yeah, y'all are doing great. So,
That's my turn.
okay.
I mean, and where my movement, I'd be interposing myself between it and Verkus.
Perfect. That's what I imagined. So I'll put that on the map there. That is awesome. Kastan, you are up. You see, yeah, this thing's appeared in the middle of the room, and it's moving towards your friends, and they've hit it with a couple attacks, and you have now a tiny stone dais, though, in your hands.
So I have my tiny stone dais, and as that light kind of like arcs over me, I'm like, wow. And then I look back, and I see like this thing get hit by an arrow, then hit with frost, and like creepily move forward, and then Eremos like swings at it with a torch, and I was like, what? And so what I want to do is like, well, I guess we're attacking. I'll try, and so I'll try and use the tablet to cast Thorn Whip, on the creature to just like whip it and drag it.
Perfect. Let me pull up the Thorn Whip specifics.
There's an app for that.
Your spells are just a bunch of apps on the tablet.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So you cast Thorn Whip. And so I need you to make a melee range spell attack against the target.
Yes, I rolled a 19 for a total of 25.
So that absolutely hits. Now, it looks like normally you would do 1d6 damage, piercing damage. But because you've cast it through the dais, I actually need you to roll 3d6 of damage.
God.
I can do that. Yeah. That's going to be a total of 11 piercing damage.
Nice.
And then it needs to make a strength save, right?
No,
I'm sorry. If
it doesn't get a chance to do
smaller,
that. Yeah,
you pull it 10 feet closer to me, so I do that.
Okay. Cool.
So I'm kind of just holding this tablet, and I'm thinking about casting Thorn Whip how I normally would, but I think it's just channels through the tablet.
Yeah.
So on the other side of the tablet, this like vine just shoots out, lassos around this thing's leg, and yanks it.
Nice. Now, as you're pulling this thing 10 feet towards you, and you can see that your Thorn Whip really wraps in tight and like really hurts this thing. I do need you to roll a d4 though.
1.
A 1? Okay. So as you cast it though, out of the tablet another light shoots out, and another identical figure is summoned, standing adjacent to the one that you just Thorn Whipped. And so
guys, using the tablet's a bad idea.
So this identical but undamaged looking figure kind of coalesces from the light from the tablet right next to the more injured variant of itself. And is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn, Kastan?
Hey, can I make an attack of opportunity when he pulls the thing 10 feet away from me or not?
Not the thing has to willingly move away from you.
I just looked at the description, and it just says when you can make an opportunity attack when a hostile creature that you can see moves out of your reach. So,
but I think it has to willingly move out.
Okay.
Let's see.
I feel like I look it up all the time because I always have the same like, oh, if like we can combo that, like pull like because we each have spells that can do stuff like that.
Yeah, the example it gives in rules is written as it says you don't provoke an attack of opportunity when you teleport or when someone or something moves you without using your movement action or reaction. For example, you don't provoke an attack if an explosion hurls you out of a foe's reach or gravity causes you to fall past an enemy. So I would say that would extend to being magically lassoed by Kastan and moved that way. So, yeah. Okay.
Because there are spells that'll be like, oh, make that creature use its reaction to use
Dissonant
its
whispers.
movement.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think in that situation you would be able to.
Yeah.
And that makes sense that it's like a speed thing. Like if a creature turned and moved or was magically commanded to move, you'd be like, "What?" But if it's suddenly like lassoed, like it's just too quick. So that makes sense. But yes, Kastan, is there anything else you'd like to do for your turn?
Yeah, Kastan's gonna put the tablet away, like in his backpack, or I don't know, give it to Olive something.
Olive's like casting spell.
She would. We're gonna put it away, and then I will bonus action go into my starry form, so my orb elongates again. I've got that magical light shedding bow. And then as part of this bonus action, I get to take an attack onto whatever creature. So I'll just take the one that I just thorn whipped.
Perfect. Yep, roll that attack. And I'm going to send you guys an updated map while you're doing that.
Olive's
that
like
is
doing
a
it, 3
13
lights
to
come
hit.
out of the tablet.
Yeah. Based
13.
on 13 does hit.
Okay.
I imagine Olive taking some levels in Bard just to with her -3 charisma, just going for it.
So we've got a barbarian horse and a bard
mouse.
Olive.
Chinchilla.
I'm about. She is
Love
a
it.
field mouse. Thank you. That's going to be 11 radiant damage to that guy.
11 radiant. Okay, nice. So the one that is injured is getting pretty low on HP, so that is a very solid hit.
And then I will use my movement to head toward my cousin.
Okay. So we're heading towards Verkus. So
Verkus, attack the beefy one.
I just put an updated map on there, Kastan. Do you want to move just kind of straight diagonal towards Verkus, 30 feet?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
That'll put me between Verkus and Eremos. I would probably stop so I'm not blocking anyone's line of sight, but yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to put you kind of making a triangle with
DJ
Tide
tablet.
and Verkus. Kastan, that was an interesting turn, but you did take down a big chunk of the XP on that first enemy, so well done. Verkus, we are back to you now. You see everything that's transpired, and so now, kind of going over Kastan, you do have line of sight still on both these two figures.
Okay.
Yes. So what would you like to do?
First stop using the bloody tablets.
I put it away already. I'm sorry.
I'm going to move. I'll move forward 20 feet.
Okay.
I know I'm not within 30 feet of them, but I'll move forward 20 feet. But as I do, I'm going to unleash another arrow that is charged with the energy of Tavusa's flame.
Nice.
And I'm going to attack the one that is already injured.
Cool. Roll an attack, my friend.
I'm rolling like poopy today. 13.
A 13 hits.
Good enough.
Okay.
Yeah, at least these things have low AC, so that helps.
Yes, it does. All right, I'm going to. Why?
2 fire damage.
So
Cat attack. Ah. Well, there we go.
That's 6 piercing damage from the arrow and 4 fire damage from Tavusa.
Nice.
And then
let me double check my math. Cool. So you destroy that first enemy.
Sweet.
Yes.
And then with my bonus action, I'm going to command Tavusa to move 30 feet and on his Tavusa's turn is directly after mine.
Cool.
And I'm going to have Tavusa charge at the mummy or the thingy, the whatever it is. I'm guessing it's
You guess well. But yes.
Yeah, that's sorry. It's a bandaged thing. Like, I'm
yeah.
horror movies say mummy.
Yeah.
at the guy, the burn
The
victim.
mummified undead. No, yeah.
The burn victim. I'm going after the burn victim. So that's my turn, and then Tavusa goes, and is going to move the 30 feet and then do a bite attack.
Okay, I was going to say after you move 20 feet before you take that arrow shot with Tavusa on your shoulder, you are now 20 feet from that second mummy, because the first one you just destroyed with your fire arrow, and so you were 20 feet away. So yeah, Tavusa could run up and even get on, if you look at the map I said, like on the left side of it.
Yeah.
So that way it's kind of flanking with Eremos.
I'm
Once
down for
Eremos
that.
engages, Eremos will get the flanking bonus.
Yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
perfect.
so that
That's
way,
what...
yeah, Tavusa can do the. I'm just gonna draw a little dragon symbol because we have T for tide already on the map.
Yep.
So I'm gonna draw a little dragon symbol, and that
There
will
we
be
go.
Tavusa. So yeah, make that bite attack. Go for it.
And I did find out. I read into this a bit.
Yes.
His draconic essence actually does deal fire damage with its bite.
Very nice.
So its bite is fire damage.
Heck yeah.
So
and with a little bit of piercing or all fire damage.
It is. So it'll be piercing damage plus fire damage.
Nice.
So I rolled a 16 to hit for Tavusa.
That absolutely hits.
And it's 3 points of piercing damage and 2 points of fire damage.
Okay, nice. So that comes out to 5 damage total with the breakdown of resistance.
It's kind of like just nang, 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 nang.
Yeah, Tavusa runs up and bites it in the leg, and you see a little bit of like it's like when you put a lighter under a piece of paper, how it kind of like turns brown and then it just kind of like it's like that for just a little bit on the bandages around where he bites it, so it's like a little
I don't know why, but I just envisioned like a really annoying chihuahua just like going after it.
It's like bites on the ankle and holds on as he's trying to get shaked off.
With little tiny dragon wings. Yeah. I love it. Well, this second creature, mummified undead, it has taken 5 damage, so that's awesome. And Verkus, great turn, and we will go to Tide next.
Cool. I will have my owl come down and give me advantage on my hit. I'm going to do. Seems like it's already engaging with people, so I guess it doesn't really matter which one I use.
Sorry, so far it is engaged just with Tavusa. Eremos is about 5 feet from it because
that's right, was moved.
Kind of it came into the room next to the one that moved 10 feet from him. So
yeah, I mean all these cantrips are a D8 anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna Ray of Frost and then use a sorcery's point to make that fire damage.
Oh, nice.
A 16 on the die.
That hits.
5 fire damage.
Nice. So that comes out to 10. Love it.